we'll jump into it. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our usual Sunday afternoon kitchen table talk. With me, as usual, is the panel. Nice to see everybody. I'm glad everybody's here. Last week, I was unable to be around, but and then the biggest snowstorm in the world hit. I was driving home in that. That was super fun. They were talking about it, and I was driving north from where it was supposed to be hitting, and it was still pretty dicey, but there was nobody on the road, so that was nice. And there's been crazy stuff happening all over the place. Crazy stuff. Every day on my show, I think to myself, sometimes I think I can't wait to hear what like you guys are going to think, but also I can't, like the silver stuff, that's crazy. I feel woefully unprepared, even though we've been talking about how crazy shit is for years. I still feel very unprepared for all of this. And the Conservative Party convention's going on. So silver's going crazy, but not really, but also back to kind of crazy. I think that they were trying to exit JP Morgan from the silver market at a certain position so it didn't completely take them out or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this whole thing plays out. But it feels like, when you go on a slide, maybe a slides or like on a roller coaster and you think you've got this and then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, this is way too big. Like I've miscalculated here. It feels like we are on some kind of ride and it was comfortable and now it's like, whoa, this is too fast. We shouldn't be going this fast. We shouldn't be doing all of these things. And the trade difficulties with Carney and the United States, fundamentally, we should have had a trade deal in 25. It's 26, and they're talking about having renegotiation of the USMCA. And Trump says, I'm not very happy about all this stuff. All of that is very concerning to me. So, welcome everyone. And where do you guys want to start? Epstein list.
We could start there, but I kind of wanted to start with the CPC General Conference, aka the like biggest contest to see who can dick ride Pierre Poilievre the most, because holy shit.
There's a lot of, so the CPC annual general meeting happened in Calgary this weekend, and I saw like a veritable who's who. Like Mark Nixon was there, Mario was there, Jasmine was there. Was the pleb there? I don't watch. I don't follow his stuff.
Because he's Pierre Poilievre's number one dick rider. So
is he?
Did you guys see that? Like he showed that like Pierre Poilievre showed up on like the like plebs Christmas live stream, completely unexpected.
No,
that definitely happens.
Yeah. Oh, I was happening around and I saw you were online and I thought I'd jump on. And I mean, like that can happen, but not if not usually if you're the leader of the party and you haven't like built your kind of you're not known for that. I don't know. Yeah, it's a little weird. Everything
but
about
it's the most how you do, my fellow kids. It was just that.
Yeah, everything about the CPC feels like they want to fit into a specific like wedge. And anything outside of that wedge they're not going to talk about it. Don't even engage with them. They're not going to talk about it. They're going to pretend like it's not happening. It doesn't seem like there's much of a plan. It doesn't seem like there's much of a plan other than people are talking about a spring election now. And
but they have a majority. It doesn't matter. And
they have it de facto,
right?
Wants
to leave, and if they leave, the like CPC is done. That's a fact.
Oh yeah, I agree.
The CPC doesn't live without Alberta.
I think that I don't think you're wrong there, Max, at all. Thanks, Max. Ryan.
Yeah, well, you got 87%. That's pretty good.
How many people were bussed in?
What about the 13%? Are they going to go over to the Liberals this next week?
NDP? Yeah,
NDP maybe.
Yeah, it's certainly plausible. Yeah, I don't know.
That was quite something. Well, he's still in there. I don't know. I think if Carney was smart, he'd wait until Alberta leaves and then hit the election, because
can you be a prime?
They lose 37 seats, right? So he would have a majority, no problem.
Yeah, I guess so. All those conservative seats are out of here. This is going to be wonderful. Yeah, can you be the prime minister who oversees Alberta leaving Canada because Canada's has policies that are such bullshit, and then hit that election button and be like, all right, Ontario and Quebec, let's send us to majority territory. It's only 99 seats. Like.
Exactly. Well, then he'd have majority. He could put all his stupid laws in, well, censorship, whatever.
Yeah, they need people's
then-
buy-in for that. I think they need people's buy-in for that. And
Yeah.
if Mark Carney calls an election now, he has to wear the fact that he didn't make a deal with Trump, and he tried to make a deal with China, but Trump said, if you make that deal with China, no more ice hockey, buddy. So like, that's it. Ice hockey is done. And that's what he said. That's what he said.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
I don't know why. Ice hockey. Okay, man. Sure. Ice hockey. That's the angle. Watch out, Canada. Like, oh my gosh. China's going to take your ice hockey. I think it's the strangest thing.
Oh, it is. Yeah. That's weird.
Yeah. Thanks, Ryan. Max again, and then MC.
One thing I find hilarious though is if you looked at all the whole marketing when Daniel Smith was up speaking, they had the CPC logo and it had a little bit of a cowboy hat on it. I'm like, when I was watching, I'm like, this is the most like blatant attempt to appease the like West, and it's probably not going to work if our system was actually valid and mattered. But I'm. The only reason Pierre Poilievre is still leader is because they have nobody else. Like who else are they gonna get? Are they gonna get that like one Sikh MP who's the like deputy leader that was caught on like cam?
Yeah.
Like yeah, we can have non-citizens vote.
Well, I mean, they tried it with
party membership.
They tried it with Jagmeet Singh, and it didn't work out very well. The other people who they want to have as leader of this, and I mean, you're one of the top people who's got your list, right? Ben Mulroney.
Yeah, well, because he kissed them all, and like it's pretty, and also like we can use like Justin Trudeau effect and have another political dynasty. That's a no-brainer, but this time it's for the right.
Yep.
I think Leslie Lewis would be in there. I mean, maybe Barrett somehow.
Roman Baber keeps trying to make noises about that, but
yeah.
Again, everybody at the CPC convention was pretty happy about the gender ideology stuff being passed.
Yeah,
and
especially after Danielle Smith's speech about it, which seems
weird.
A little weird, and probably people were bussed in because we know at least Danielle Smith has a history of bussing in people. So
they do,
and
as soon as I saw Pierre Poilievre won by such a big lead there, like 87%, nobody's got questions about this plan. Nobody's got questions about like.
I will also say though, this is the most energy the CPC has had since like the past in like the past 3 leaders. I'll at least I'll give them that. This is the most energy behind Pierre.
Sure.
Even though it's not a high like bar, it's still there. I think it's funny. I think ultimately the like standout of the show at the conference was like Dominion Society when like Greg was there and Daniel Tyree had the picture of like Poilievre wearing the turban. I thought that was great, and honestly, that's great. I think we need more people like Greg and Jeremy Mackenzie who do poke the bear instead of all these safe commentators, like say for example Clyde do something, Marty up north, Jasmine Lane, who all they serve to do is like just dick ride the like whole status quo. And I think we need more people like say the people I mentioned showing up and doing their best to hold people's feet to the fire. But that's probably not going to happen because everyone wants Pierre to win, and we need to own the libs, even if this like party destroys all of our values. So it doesn't really matter.
Look at this guy.
Yep, it's
You see that guy right there?
I don't. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm muting there. I don't disagree with you, Max. There's a lot of elements of the. It doesn't look like we're going to have a situation where the CPC starts really talking about what's going on. They're going to continue to play it safe and play to the middle rather than being accused of being Trump-like and things like that. And remigration is a non-starter. A lot of the time, I think that they won't even really talk about it because
the whole fundamental reason for not calling the CPC out on this is so misguided. For example, Mark, let's say you are training me to be like a like great boxer. Are you going to call out my form? So like say for example, you like are training me in like the like ring, right? And I have horrible form, and you're sparring me. Are you going to call me out when like the whole sparring match is done about my bad form, or are you going to call me out during the like sparring?
Both, probably.
Exactly, right? So then, and say for example, in like say like a like construction background, if you're a foreman on a job site, are you going to call out, hey, listen, this like foundation isn't stable, we should fix it? Or are you going to call that out at the end of the day when things are already built on the foundation?
Yep.
When are you going to call that out? Obviously,
much earlier. Yeah.
at start. So why are we waiting until we lose like 5 elections now to make the CPC actually course correct?
Well, the CPC doesn't want to. Yeah, the CPC doesn't want to course correct, and that's the problem. Fundamentally, they don't want to. Like, and the party itself, I think, doesn't want to, and so they're going to keep play acting, and I think I call it kabuki theater, right? Pretending that they passed a liberal budget, right? Everything else after that is kind of like, I don't believe you guys. You guys are not really fighting for us, because if you were fighting for us, then you wouldn't have passed that budget. You wouldn't have hit Andrew Scheer behind the curtains to pass that budget, right? So
yeah.
I don't know. Thanks, Max. MC.
Well, the CPC and all those influencers who would show up for their convention and stuff like that are what I call the fake right.
Yeah.
And they don't need a plan, because the plan's going to be told to them if they're ever allowed to win another election.
Yeah.
Right? And like, is there a scenario like Carney does so bad that now the globalists have to go back to the CPC for a little while right? And let things get more screwed up and then kick them out? And as for like the whole thing about hockey, the Chinese will ban hockey. Well, that's a way to get the attention of a whole bunch of normie white folks.
True.
Right?
True.
Like, and also, kind of draw attention to Chinese influence. Because people are actually obsessed with that crap. Like all my life, I've seen people that are just like, I was down in southern Alberta a couple of years ago when Calgary was in the playoffs, and I was, dressed normally, so I didn't have a jersey on.
Yeah.
And someone was like, "Who are you cheering for?" And I'm like, "Well, it's June. I don't care."
Hockey is a winter sport. What is wrong with you people?
Well, I usually usually cheer for the team that's winning, because they're usually trying harder, right? They deserve my support.
That's it. I'm a bandwagon jumper too. My brother asked me. He was a diehard fan for one team, and I won't mention it. And I said I stopped being a fan of that team because they don't win Stanley Cups. And so I started being a fan of teams that win Stanley Cups. So now I'm a fan of the Lightning. It's the same colors as the team that I was talking about. But they win sometimes. But I might be a fan of another hockey team soon. It all really depends on how they do. That's fair weather fan right here.
But on Alberta separation and stuff like that, I did have a hilarious thought yesterday. What if all the provinces seceded? I mean, except Quebec. Quebec will stay as long as there's equalization, right?
Of course.
But once the institutional investors figure out that 100% of Canada's budget is now Ukraine and Quebec equalization, probably they're not going to be able to get a lot of debt anymore.
Yeah.
And after a couple of months, Quebec will be out too.
Unless
they really like the name Canada.
Yeah, maybe. I really don't think Canada survives an exit by Alberta. I just don't. I think that starts the unwinding, that the whole country becomes unwound because the federal government doesn't have any legitimacy. And hopefully the provincial government, hopefully it's tight enough and small enough that you can hold those people accountable and remove the people who are bad actors, because we have a lot of bad actors in our government. And I mean, I think we have layers of bad actors right now. We've got federal bad actors and we've got provincial bad actors. But if we just had the province to deal with and the federal government was gone, then we'd have a soup. We'd have something that we could actually deal with. That right now is too unwieldy.
So then we become Balkan states at that point.
But we're not holding provincial officials accountable now.
No, because all the structure of the whole, from the human rights tribunals to the structure of schooling to the structure of the institutions, it's stacked. If you tried to hold people accountable for COVID, for example, or for putting allowing boys to have access to girls' washrooms in high schools, which is happening in Guelph at Centennial High School, and I've reported on it. I've got it on my website. Then instead of saying, "Oh, we recognize that you see this as a problem," and here's how we're going to rectify it, they don't do that. They just shut you down, and you can't get a problem solved.
Even just municipal fraud is rampant.
Oh yeah. Well,
no one's going to do anything about
it. Sheila, and I can't remember her last name, but her first name is Sheila. She does a good job at talking about how the municipalities. Valerie knows her. What's her name, Valerie?
Sheila McFarlane.
Sheila McFarlane, and she does a very good job at talking about how the office of mayor and the council offices have all been usurped by corporate interest and like corporatization, like the CTO and the CFO and all of this other stuff. Those people aren't elected, so they're not accountable to anybody. And the people who we elect are not doing the job that we elected them to do. They're passing it off to these unaccountable positions of CTO, CFO, and all the rest. And through doing that, it's undermining the ability for citizens to have any kind of direct impact on the policies that the municipalities are run by, and that's bad. You know, like, it's really annoying.
Well, it's okay if you're a mayor who likes kickbacks.
Yep. And a lot of them seem to. And I find it weird, too, how, like, Andrea Horvath was the leader of the NDP, and now she's the mayor of Hamilton. Patrick Brown was trying to become the leader of the Conservative Party of Canada, but was found to be doing fraudulent activities with regards to selling memberships to non-citizens, which is totally fine, but he was selling fraudulent memberships, like he was paying for the memberships or something like that. There's some kind of kickback thing.
They had a picture of him on them?
Yeah, something like that. But well, he was running for part of running for the Conservative leadership is selling memberships, and it's like a House Cup kind of thing. Like everybody's competing for the most memberships, and so if you can fund your campaign while you're also selling memberships, then like that's all the better, right? And so like I guess Scott Brown or Patrick Brown was doing something in that territory, and then he got removed from the leadership race because of that fraudulent stuff. And then he was like, "No problem, I'll go back to being mayor of Brampton." And I was like, "Okay, what?" And nobody's had a problem with it since. Nobody, and it's been years. And I'm like, I'm the only one who's upset about this, apparently. But often I think I'm the only one who's upset about these things. So thanks, MC. Steve.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Good. Nice to see you.
It kind of ties in. I'm just alarmed at the crazy traffic and population density in Ottawa. Like I just noticed that it is just like, where did these people come from? Oh my God. Every single municipal area that I drive through is packed. They put a Costco in a few years ago close by. The ramps, the off ramps, you can't get off. Everybody's just a maniacal driver. All the big box stores are just packed all the time.
We were driving on the way. It's not actually Costco where our destination was, but we were driving somewhere and we were going by Costco, and it was all the streets are. So I've got an echo. Somebody. No, I got
Is it me?
No,
it's not me.
No.
Okay.
All the streets have this suicide lane in the middle and like a left lane and a right lane. And so we're driving in the right lane going towards Costco, but we were going to be turning before that. And this person in front of us just stopped in the middle of a live lane. They just stopped. No indication, no hazard lights. No, they just stopped. And I was like...
it happens in off-ramps. Like you're coming in at 85 and then there's some car, no hazards or anything. Just stop.
Just stop.
I can't shop at Costco. Every time I go, my truck gets dinged or dented. Or
so
I just wonder, my question was, what do you think the real population of Canada is? I think it's like 45 and a half, man.
You don't think we're past 50 yet?
I don't know, but it's
48 to 50. Million.
Anyway, just dropping that. It ties in nicely, but that was just my thought. Anyway, that's all I had to say.
Bad drivers and population density. It's worse than it was in the 90s. In the 90s, we had one population to blame. Now...
I can't even drive my motorcycle. I leave early in the morning and I come back late at night.
I would be terrified. And I mean, like,
right?
Maybe I'm kind of a wimp with regards. I like a nice big plush seat and airbags around me and stuff, and getting on a motorcycle, I would drive like 50 kilometers an hour and I'd be like, this is fast, like, whoa, right? So,
I just can't bear to sell them. I've had bikes all my life.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
My God.
Yep. I hear you, man. Thanks, Steve. Who's I scrolled down. I'm sorry. I don't know who's next. Steve, no.
I just wanted to remind everybody a little bit of our Canadian history here. We talk about annexation of Greenland and how Trump wants to do it to us. But does anybody remember a time, or have you ever heard of a time that Canada wanted to annex other places? Because Nova Scotia has tried 3 times in the last 100 years to annex Turks and Caicos and try to make them a part of Canada. And we don't sit
How
here and
how hard have we tried?
honestly, I think the last time was 2004.
I think I remember reading something about this, and then I was like, I'd go to Turks and Caicos for a little while, like a little séjour to the other parts of Canada.
The same year, the Americans got the islands off of Denmark in the 1917 agreement that they wouldn't take Denmark, but we'll give you. I think it was the turned into the Virgin Islands. I think it was. Anyways, we approached Turks and Caicos to try to do the same. It was also approached, I believe, in the 40s and then in the 2000s. But nobody ever talks about that. Oh, Canada's big and bad because we want to annex, a Caribbean island to turn them into a portion of the province of Nova Scotia. I'm in.
Yeah, for real. You go down to Turks and Caicos, go fishing.
Like Canadians, why can't we have a Caribbean destination that's a province?
Yeah, Cuba's a little rough right now.
Yeah, well, my neighbors, they're off to Cuba on Wednesday.
Are they really?
I got to have a conversation.
Oh my god!
Hey,
don't go.
Yeah, like I don't know, man.
I don't know.
I told him I'd look after his house, but I don't really want his house if he gets stuck in Cuba.
Yeah, for real, right? Like, my gosh, that's a risk. And sure, the resorts are nice until all of a sudden it's like, well, there's nobody. Yeah, there's no more planes coming here because of whatever reason. Yeah, that seems.
Well, there's no more. If the plane can't fuel up to come home, it ain't going.
It's not going, right? Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, I would imagine the resorts and stuff, they have their own infrastructure. They're not bound by communist infrastructure, would they be? Do you think? Like, if I was Sunwing, I'd probably have fuel there. But if you couldn't get fuel there, yeah, I don't know, man. Food supply, says Peter. Yeah. I'd be worried about, at the best of times, Cuba doesn't have a great food supply for the resorts. Like, you can get some things, but beef's not, it's not that's not a good idea. And so certain things, it's ugh. I can't imagine how good it would be now.
What about electricity? They have a horrible problem with electricity in the last year.
Yeah, they have
that just generators. Be something. Well, I hear you, but still.
Yeah, I mean, all the resorts have generators, and it's the generators are powering 3 rooms. You know what I mean? It's it's a weird way to go on vacation, if you ask me. Anyway, thanks, Noel. MC.
Yeah. So
not MC. I think you're kind of glitching out a bit, Noel. Max first, and then MC.
Yeah, to go back to what you said about Patrick Brown, the reason why nobody is held accountable, it's because it's drinking out of, when you're trying to keep up with this, you're drinking out of a fire hose where there's so much shit happening that by the time you counter it, you're drinking down so much more shit. So nothing really changes. An example of this that I saw, at least the other week, is that the CBC is doing a bunch of revisionist history about the Nova Scotia shooter, and that the reason he killed a bunch of people was actually because he went mad from COVID, and that's probably a part of it. However, there's a lot more circumstances to that which nobody talks about, like the fact that this guy was definitely a RCMP informant, had ties to all the Hells Angels groups, and always was seen as a bad dude around Nova Scotia. For context, Buddy's business, he had a dentist office, and outside of his dentist office was a massive pair of teeth. It was a supervillain lair.
It was a what?
I said it was a supervillain lair. So the fact
a supervillain lair.
But it's just this revisionist history that nobody wants to talk about because they're being bombarded with so much different stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Exactly, Max. He beat up people outside of his dentist office. Remember that?
Yeah.
Were the teeth? Could he use the teeth to chomp on people? You could call him the chomper.
Well, probably. Yeah, some death trap. It's the best way I can put it, Mark, is I know you worked in kids education and you watched and you watched Phineas and Ferb. Yep. It's like Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated. Yeah, it's that tier of just blatant evil, and nobody in the media wants to question that, which is a little funny. Even though there's a lot of these links that point to maybe this wasn't just a random shooting.
Yeah.
What do we know?
Anybody who collects old cop cars and has a schwack of guns years before COVID and has been doing that and imports stuff across from the States constantly and is connected to the RCMP.
Yeah, there was a lot of, but then what the Nova Scotia shooting taught me was that our police system was corrupt at the upper echelon. Like if Lucky was going to sit there and talk about this like it was a nothing burger and like gaslight Canada, I learned a lot about the RCMP that scandal. You know what I mean? And it's not that I learned they were trustworthy.
Everyone around here. I was texting about it with Noel the other day. Like it's like 3 degrees of people that somebody who was affected by it.
Yeah.
Affected by the shooting.
Yeah.
And the fact is, like I remember there was one guy's name's Paul Polangelo who actually went deep into it.
I remember him. Yep.
Wrote a book on it.
Yep.
But there's been nobody talking about that since 2020, and I think that's a pretty big scandal that people should be looking into, and nobody has really done it.
The docket is so stacked that if we started clearing it, it would be very difficult. And like, there's no political will. There's no, and people, it has been memory hold, and they don't want us to remember it. They get upset.
Yeah, Mark, you did a piece way back about how they shot up that fire station or
right.
Shooting at a building. Like what the? Yeah. Anyway, you covered that quite well. I just wanted to remember that.
Sure. Thanks, Max and MC.
Well, just going back to your traffic woes there. That thing of people, and it seems to me mostly foreigners, when I first heard about it like 15 years ago, getting in front of you and stopping so you hit them from behind and are therefore to blame. Like 2 days ago, I saw a video out of the States about that, and but the person had a dash cam, and like she stopped on the highway to avoid hitting these people, and then they backed into her. And then they're on the dash cam getting out of the car, like the guy's holding his neck and stuff like that. And then come up and notice the dash cam and then get arrested for fraud and anyway, like
for sure. And like I've got dash cam, like I have a dash cam, and that's good in both of my cars, but it wasn't even in front of me. It was like there was one car in front of me and they stopped behind them, like, what are you doing? Why would you stop? And I was like, nope. And so I went into the suicide lane and around them, because I was like, no, I'm not going to play this game. Like, if you're an idiot and you don't understand that you're in a live frigging lane, I'm not going to slow down. I'm going to pass you and look at you like you're an idiot. So,
yeah.
And
I'm with you on motorcycles. Like you have to pay attention the whole freaking time.
It's like, not,
you can't.
Yeah, and it's not your driving. You could be driving perfectly, and the person may not see you because they're looking for a car, and you're a motorcycle, and so you occupy a different space. And have you ever been looking for scissors, and you're looking on the counter, and you don't see the scissors? And you're like, I'm looking for the scissors, and your wife or somebody comes up, and they're like, oh, the right in front, where your hand is where the scissors are. Like the same kind of thing. You just become blind to it. And so I'm not worried about me, although I am worried about me on the motorcycles. I'm worried that somebody's just going to friggin' drive into me and like go, oh, damn, and then I'm already like done. You know, I'm
I try not to turn left. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the left. I try not to. And I got extended mirrors. Like I aftermarket bought wider mirrors, so I have a huge scope of vision behind me, and I am on a swivel, my friend.
Yeah.
Right.
I like to be able to eat ice cream while I'm shifting gears.
And chocolate cereal.
Sandwich.
Drive with my elbows if I've got to.
I am worried about me in that situation. It would be me. Like if I'm walking, sometimes I will almost fall down, but I catch myself. But when I rarely fall down.
Chewing gum.
So when I fall down, it's
not chewing gum. No,
it's always severe when I fall down.
Yep.
So like, and on a motorcycle, you don't have a light crash, right?
No.
You don't just like ding a cement guardrail or something like that. Like, as the back hitch of my truck with a test.
Yeah.
You like, it's bad.
Yeah.
So no. 3 wheels minimum.
Yep.
I would say maybe a side.
When I was a kid, I was in England, and my cousin or an uncle in England had a thing for weird cars, and he had 2 weird cars. We had a bunch of weird cars, but he had 2 that he brought around, and one was a 3-wheeled car that you open the face of it, and then you sat in, and then like the wheel and the acceleration and everything was attached to the dashboard, which was attached to the door thing that you're pulling off. And so you like pull this
the
thing
Mr.
off.
Bean villain car.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I guess so. And I drove in one of those.
Peter Sellers the party. Peter Sellers the party.
It was
yeah.
it was a 3-wheel one, and then there was another one, and
Weren't they made by
it was more of
BMW?
a fancy car. And then
Oh.
he also had an Austin Mini. He also had an Austin, like a proper Austin Mini. And I was a big kid, and I was a lot fatter than I am now. Like I'm 180 now, and I was like 230 then. And they thought it was funny for my brother and I to get into the Austin Mini and get out of it because we were both big guys, right? They were like, get them in there.
Look up the Messerschmitt KR 100 or the KR. I think the other one was the 500. Those are the coolest cars ever, and mileage, it's sensational.
Messerschmitt 5 what?
KR
The
100.
accident rate, the accident rating's not good on them.
No. Well, right. Yeah. No. That was from an era where the cars were. That's an airplane. Is it an airplane? Or is it a car? Oh, you're muted. You're muted. You're muted.
Messerschmitt was a German airplane company in World War II, and then in like the late 50s, they made a few cars. And like they're European cars, they would be summer cars.
Oh, there we
here.
go. Yeah, I got one. Okay, I got one.
But yeah, it's basically a cockpit with a little like Bosch motor in the back, and so it's rear-wheel drive.
Yeah, three-wheel car. Look at that.
Yeah,
I lo-
rocket coffin.
We got away from, like, there was a time where the West was super cool with regards to, like, oh, what do we need 4 wheels for? Let's have 3 wheels. Yeah, let's make this 3-wheel car. Like, oh, we make planes, we can make cars, right? And like there was a I don't know, a spirit to it, like a can-do attitude. That now it's like, we could do that, or we could just make Candy Crush, or we could like play Candy Crush.
Mark, the Honda trike happens. That's what happened.
yeah.
Older,
As an Earl
well,
Albertan, I
older
can say
cars
you
also
have
just look badass.
Hold on.
If
MC's talking.
you have to put the 2 wheels on the front. You can't put the 2 wheels on the back.
Right.
You can't steer with the single
The
wheel.
back.
You
Yeah,
have
yeah.
like those trikes were.
yeah. Fair enough. So yeah, well, and England doesn't have the climate that we've got, right? It's a little bit warmer, not as much snow for not as long period of time. So anyway, I like the cars that we have now. I don't want Chinese EVs. That's what I actually much prefer, a return to like the late 1980s, the early 1990s, where cars were like not metal, but not all plastic. Like those things were substantial as all get. I love those cars.
Like, look cool again.
Yeah, I remember Honda Civics from like that's
You're like
Japanese.
77
But
Camaro, dream car right there.
1983 Honda CRX, I think it is, with the really high back, and then also Toyota was it a Prelude or was it a Honda Prelude? Toyota Prelude. Honda Prelude.
I love those CRXs, man. I went through the Kootenays in one of those
Right?
with 3 mountain bikes jammed in the back. That thing, you could lean it with your body weight.
Yes.
It was so much
Ford
fun.
Fiesta. Ford Fiesta. Do you guys remember the Ford Fiesta?
Yeah, but if you have to get like they had this like a really hopped up Fiesta back then. It came with turbochargers and
Oh
stuff
my
like that. You're like, honestly, if you're going for it, you gotta go to the Nismo version. Yeah.
Was that 3-cylinder one, the turbo?
But it
Unreal.
was so small, and it was a 4-door, and it was like a golf cart, and we got that thing going so fast. It was ridiculous. So yeah, cars. I was never a car guy. I was playing on computers. I was a computer game guy because I was super cool. So what do you guys think about the China deal? Is that good? Oh wait, am I missing somebody? Peter, you've got your hand up. Peter.
Yeah, I just wanted to go back to the separation bit. I mean, if Alberta leaves, which I hope they're able to, then there could be a domino effect. And I think what isn't been realized is, especially Fat Fuck Ford, is they're going to fall back on Ontario to try and milk everything for the
for Quebec
transfer payments.
Yep.
But also, too, I think if it does snowball, maybe we get into a point where the federal government would disappear. And if anybody wanted a federation, you could have a federal government with no taxing power, no real power, but it would be granted activities by whatever province decided to form a little relationship with them. Sort of the reverse of the EU.
Yeah, I don't know. But
It's what
I wouldn't
EU was
I wouldn't want anything to
You're
do
too
with them.
optimistic, Peter.
Yeah.
You're way too
I
optimistic.
wouldn't want a
brother.
damn thing to do
Oh,
with
I know.
them.
I mean, I'm,
Yeah.
Somebody called me a cynic. I said, nah, I was a cynic in my youth. Now I'm a realist.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there was a paper, and I've referenced the paper before, but it's like having a population of less than 10 million is the right amount for hitting the balance. And if we broke up the provinces, our provinces would be the right population size to have
10 million or less.
Yeah, to have this it's like a magic number that leads to good governance for whatever reason. And I think I think it has to do with accountability. And like
true, but also Canada needs a new constitution. I think that one that was Bruce Party drafted for the Alberta, independent Alberta.
Mm-hmm.
Like our constitution is not worth the paper it's written on.
Oh, well, clearly it didn't protect anybody during COVID. People were losing their jobs, and people were having venues canceled, all sorts of stuff. It's very concerning how bold the left has become. And even like when you look at the fraud happening in Minneapolis, and then you look at the left being used to change the channel on discussing the fraud instead of discussing the fraud. Now people are saying, oh yes, Minneapolis is an example of ICE murdering people, and that's not true. But they wanted to.
Did you even see them beating up a guy wearing a MAGA hat in Minneapolis?
Yeah.
Just walking by. Yeah.
ICE protests are the definition of fuck around and find out. There's nothing else to really be said about it, to be honest.
Yeah, well,
because when you get in the way of like federal law enforcement, what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, like when you get arrested, this is not a surprise, buddy. Like you were throwing a brick at a
talk shit, get hit.
Yeah, like come on, man, this is not surprising.
I saw something flash by where Trump had a shoot to kill order, but I haven't seen any more about it. That's what they should do. Just say, okay, guys, before you start getting antsy, this is what's going to happen. So
yeah, well,
they say fuck around, find out. Yeah,
basically, and I mean like. There were people, and I talked to people who were taken in by the CNN coverage of the Good shooting. You know, the I can't remember her name. Nancy.
Crazy bitch.
The lady who drove towards. Yeah, and I said, well, she drove towards the officer who, you know, got out of the way. But like, if you drive if you drive towards somebody, it's the same thing as taking a pot shot with a weapon. Like your intent to kill, it's the same thing. And so
there's a weapon.
Yeah, it is and especially if you're wielding it that way. If you walk up to somebody and you have a sword and you start swinging the sword and they shoot you, it's the same damn thing, really. You take a gun out, you start shooting, and you get shot. Okay, same damn thing. And if the car's a weapon, you gun it at somebody, or you drive it in the direction of somebody with intent to kill, or with intent to harm. Like that's a deadly weapon, whether you intend to kill them or not. And so it's one of those things where I right away saw that and thought that's what they need. That's how they need to respond. And they need to arrest these people who are doing this, and they need to arrest the coordinators. And I hope we see that, because if they let them continue to are emboldened to continue these protests and be violent like that, then you're only going to get more of that. And so you need to crack down on it. So I don't know about shoot to kill, but if people are trying to kill you and you're trying to do a job, I don't think that's a bad thing necessarily. But
even before she drove, she was told to get, very poetically, get out of the fucking car.
Oh yeah. There was like
before she even took off.
Yeah, there's a whole 6-minute clip or something like that, and she was talking shit to these guys, and she was being a prize bitch, and her wife got out of or her partner or whatever got out of her car, and she was walking around filming the ICE officers, and like they were very. It seems mentally ill. Like that's not how normal people act.
Husband / wife told her, drive, baby, drive.
Is that what she said? Yeah. And I mean, like I have questions about that kind of stuff, right? So, and then the media selectively editing it to show, to facilitate a story that they're telling, that's even more frightening, because they're having a lot of people who believe the fictional story that they're being told. And that's coloring, and they're going to try and use that story to take Trump down. And that's just one plank in the broader story, but it's messed up, man. It's very, very concerning. So when I say I hope we chart a path out of it, I mean, it's going to be difficult, because there's people like that who don't want us to find a way out of it. They'd rather we get trapped in a wizard circle of talking about that shooting forever. You know what I mean? So it's not good. Thanks, Peter. Scott?
There are many distractions and many false flags going on.
Yeah.
And none of it is for the good of the average Joe in our world. We are being infiltrated from every nationality. We have so many foreign nationals in this country right now, and in North America. This is all a planned infiltration to take over. And if we don't get a grasp on it, we're in big trouble.
I think we're in big trouble. I don't think people even. So it's one of those things where you don't believe it's happening. You know, like maybe it's a bad breakup and you come home and you like find your husband or wife in bed with somebody else, like the worst possible situation. And you got to freeze and you're like, or you laugh or something like that. You're like, ha, you know, like this is hilarious or something. You respond in a way that is not commensurate with the situation because you just don't believe what's happening in front of you. You're just like, I can't believe this. And so you don't respond appropriately. And I think that's
cognitive dissonance. Yep.
Yeah, I think that's how our society is responding. We see this. You walk into a Walmart and you see this. You walk into a grocery store or a shopping center, or you walk into a downtown center or something like that. You see videos of England and it looks like the Middle East. Brampton, says MC. Yeah. All these examples, you see it in front of you and you don't react because you can't believe that it's happening, one. And two, how do you react? Because it's criminal. The proper reaction to that has been criminalized. If you say, holy smoke, we've got a remigration or something like that. Holy cow, now your job's at risk. Now there's this, there's that, there's all sorts of other things. And that's not healthy in a society where we're supposed to be able to chart our course. We're not allowed to chart our course, I don't think.
When you are no longer welcome as a white man in your own country.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, look at England, right? Like they're 6 months ahead of us. I don't want it to be that soon, but my gosh, it's pretty in your face. It's pretty blatant stuff. It's wild. Thanks, Scott. Max.
So who wants to talk about Jeffrey Epstein? The files are definitely interesting, but unless there's actually any action from like people like Bill Gates, who roofied his wife apparently with the help of drugs procured by Epstein because he or she got an like STD, none of this is gonna matter. And I think it's also interesting, even though not directly implicated, but like people like Elon Musk were mentioned, which I don't know what to think of Elon. I don't think he's necessarily on our side, but like it's definitely interesting. And there's also just some random stuff included in like the whole Epstein docs. I don't know if you saw it, Mark, but like one of the like Epstein files was saying that Jeffrey Epstein got banned on like Xbox Live for like shit talking.
Oh yeah,
like
I did see something like that. Yeah, people were talking about that. I saw there was a bunch of stuff. The other thing though is a bunch of them. So like a couple of the ones that I looked at, they were emails to themselves or emails to people who weren't who they were talking about. So like if I emailed MC and I was like, hey MC, you and me and Max are gonna hang out on Saturday and we're gonna have Elon there and we're gonna have President Clinton and we're gonna have, you know what I mean? Like all these people.
Yeah.
Is that true?
And
maybe
also
not.
Another thing
right?
that like KJ mentioned in like our chat is that how do you know these files are even like real? Because these files have been in like the like DOJ
for years.
DOJ for years under multiple administrations where like anybody could have a chance like add or like redact in information, and ultimately this could just be another big distraction. I've
covered it lightly. I feel like people who want heavy Jeffrey Epstein coverage will go somewhere else. Same with like the Gaza, Palestine.
I just want
stuff.
Justice. I want justice. That is what I want.
Yeah, I hope we get justice. It doesn't seem like we're going to get justice. Like if I was, like you're watching a chess game or you're watching a car race or something like that. It seems like our opponents are a couple of moves ahead of us. And every time they get close to being held accountable, they have a couple of tricks to pull out.
Or the rules just change.
Emergencies Act. Yeah. Or the market's going to crash and they're going to be exposed. Well, a couple of banks take a bath and everything's fine. Like the silver market. It looks like the silver market was supposed to break at 6-7, wasn't it? Right? $67.
well.
Right. So, and then we had all those Sigma 6 events, and then we had the price of silver hit 120 and then go back to 79. Yeah.
Isn't Carney and his wife in the Epstein files?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
wasn't
that
he
was
talking
known
about that?
before. That was known well
So
before
was
this most
Sohan
recent thing.
Ramdani's
No,
like
but
mother.
now there's more files and there's more, there's more info and like still nobody wants to talk about that.
No, you're not wrong there. Everybody's
Sitting prime minister.
Yep. Lots of connect. The way you become a prime minister is if you have connections. Like your wife's or your sister-in-law is on the Epstein list, right? So I don't know. And like your father-in-law is what is Fox Carney? What's that guy? I can't remember.
Is he another banker?
Is he a banker or is he like a duke? I thought he had a title. I thought there was a title. Like I thought that the wife, whose last name is Fox Carney, right? I thought the wife of Carney was the daughter of some. He's a lord. What is he?
Rothschild.
Is he a Roth? No, but like, doesn't he have I thought he had a British title. I thought he was like a lord or a
Lord.
Oh, I'm sure they
Yeah.
all are.
Yeah, I
Special
guess so.
people, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Anyway,
Or sirs.
Mostly.
yeah,
so go back
like
to, like, no
like
justice.
Elton John, right? Ridiculous. Patrick
There was
Stewart.
no justice for like all of Pizzagate. There's
There's
justice
still no justice. I'm still waiting. It's like-
Nothing ever happens.
it's like
That's I mean that's why the meme exists. The like whole nothing ever happens meme. I don't know if you've seen it, Mark.
I have seen it, buddy. I've seen many incarnations of the Nothing Ever Happens meme.
The Fell For It Again award sticker.
Yep. The Lucy's football. Yeah, man. We are all watching and waiting and hoping that maybe. And really, the only thing that happens is the January Sixers get what is it? Isolated rooms and things like that. You know what I mean? Like the justice gets administered to our side, while the guilty get the ability to continue their crimes, and that's crazy town. Thanks, Max. MC.
Well, yeah. If you go on someone's email server or whatever, and you find an email and it says the subject is notes to self, and then the body says, "Remember to bring little kids to the party on Saturday." If that could have been planted.
It could have been planted. Yeah, it could have.
And on the antibiotics thing with Bill Gates is really weird because
it is weird.
I know someone actually. So her ex-boyfriend went and cheated on her and got an STD, and like she didn't know, right? All of a sudden he has a sudden interest in soup, and he like wants her to have soup and stuff like that, right? And then you get to day 7, and
day 7 of soup.
Yes, day 7.
What are we having for dinner tonight? Soup?
And this is how he got caught, because on day 6 he forgot to put the antibiotics in the soup, so he double dosed on day 7. And she said, "This tastes like medicine."
What is going on with this soup?
And on Silver,
no, it doesn't.
I laughed and laughed, and she insists it's not funny, but
it's funny.
Yeah, it's funny. But so on the silver, here's the question to ask yourself about, regardless of the price of silver. The question is, what is the silver for? Now, if the silver is to, in the present time, immediately convert into this declining fiat currency so that you can buy a tangible object that you're going to keep for, months or years, then that's okay. But if it's for after the currency's gone, then you don't care what the price is now, right? Like if my silver suddenly would buy me 1,000 acres of land that's more remote than the place I live now, then maybe that's a deal I would consider, right? As long as I don't have an outstanding loan on the land.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, like, I'm just waiting, right? I'm like, this currency is going to go down. Like, I've known since the mid 90s that our financial system was going to fail. I just didn't know that they had this evil plan about what to do about it. Like, it's all a matter of perspective. You just wait. It's not a big deal. It could, like, I was pretty happy when it was going up, and I was very, very moderately disappointed when it went back down, but it didn't go back down to where it had started out. So, right. And it's just it's been manipulated for at least 25, 30 years. That's when I think, first started hearing about it, and you could tell.
Yep.
Manipulated forever.
Yeah, I was gonna say longer than. Yeah, fair point. Fair point. I think that the price of silver just means accessibility. Like right now, I have access to Amazon and I can buy things, tangible things with fiat dollars. And so having a stockpile of silver is not necessary to function in the current system. But as you said, it seems like things are changing quickly. And so people want to have a hedge against what if the shit hits the fan. I want to have money to be able to trade for food and things like that. And so that's where silver comes in. And so the price of silver is just about accessibility. I have extra money. I want to go buy silver. And now it costs more than it did before. And so like, fair point. It doesn't really matter except if you're trying to hedge and have some spending money in the event of a total collapse of society, which I don't think was on most people's radar 10 years ago, and now certainly seems
on mine.
Yeah, but most people 10 years ago were not worried about a full system collapse. I don't think that was like that could happen. Whereas now it seems likely is not the word, but certainly more plausible than it did 10 years ago, in my opinion. Do you think I'm wrong?
Yeah. Well, it seems to me that most people still don't think that's possible. Like most people still don't understand what's happening. They just don't.
But they're like 10 years ago, you couldn't point to the price of silver and say, look at the price of silver. And like, that's not how silver behaves in a stable, in an economy where you've got fiat dollars that are stable in a stable fiat economy system where everybody's really happy with how it's balanced and stuff. You don't have the price of silver going all over the place like this. You don't have the price of gold going all over the place like this. So what's going on?
You always have various things going all over the place, right? .com, real estate.
Enron, I guess. Yeah, okay.
Silver.
Real estate, yeah. Okay, so one of my theories is the devaluation of the currency is to make it easier to confound people. Because if you talk about dollars and cents, like $1 or $10, where people can understand it, then they'll follow the money easier than if it's confounding and complicated. And I think that they've made it, they've devalued the dollar on purpose to make it even entry into understanding what's going on difficult. Does that make sense?
Kind of. To me, it's kind of similar to having like it's way next level than this, but it's similar to having a stack of cash in case the electricity's out.
Yeah.
Right. People are still going to believe in cash if the electricity's out, for 3 or 4 days. So you can still use your cash because they still all buy it.
Yep.
And that's actually comes to the larger thing about currency. Any currency, the value is what people believe it is.
That's true.
Even non-fiat currencies, the value is it's always based on faith. I told my friend this 20 years ago and he didn't understand. If everyone in Canada decided tomorrow that dog shit is our new currency, like the people that own kennels would be rich, but you would go to 7-Eleven and take out your little baggie. I guess you'd have to determine if it's dried or moist dog shit, like what the value, right? You do 10 dried grams for a Slurpee, and then and then away you'd go, right? Because everybody agreed, and that's what currency's for.
It's a big show to make people believe that there's stability there. Yeah. It's interesting. Thanks, MC. Steve.
Hey, just tying into distractions, right? Look at that lady whose land she found 2 skulls on and it was part of landfill. Ties in back to the Esquimalt graving dock in Vancouver Island and C-SPAN trying to buy the whole shipyard next to the Naden Navy Yard. We couldn't do anything for years. We lost so many contracts because they found some bones. Mm-hmm. I know I'm reaching back, but it all ties into the distraction, land, equity, monies, how it's ruining people, and they secretly just kind of literally bury that, mm-hmm. right?
Yeah.
They've just confiscated somebody's home and land in BC. They're calling it I can't remember the exact term, but they found bones there apparently. So
the land is useless. It's useless now. It's tied up and everything. Cost her hundreds of thousands. She's done. Her whole family's done based on some bones. And then my whole thing is
archaeology site.
Who rightfully would tell anybody about any bones you found on your land.
Yeah, if that's going to happen, right? Like, good job. And I didn't find anything. You know, get the grinder, put it in there, done.
That's
See you
the
later.
3 S's: shoot, shovel, and shut up.
Yeah, right. Ridiculous, unbelievable. Thanks, Steve. KJ, where's KJ? Oh, KJ, you there?
Hey,
Okay,
sorry.
there, no problem. What's going on? Nice to see you.
Yeah, I just want to go back on like the gold and silver stuff. So I think, like, I know in my community, and I've talked about it before, but I think people have to get kind of out of their mindset of like, it's all mine. You know, like I need money because this is mine. My home is mine. My land is mine. And like talking to people out here, it's more of a community thing. So it's, I can do this, you know, this guy he's good at plumbing. I'm good at cooking food and growing food. I do canning. You know, this person does that sort of thing. And we've all kind of come together and we're already bartering, right? Like it's already happening. Like it's not just about gold and silver. And yeah, that's different value, I guess.
Yep.
And so people here are more like, just how can we come together as people, you know, and Scott and I have talked about this too, but like, how can we come together as a community and that sort of thing and help each other out and kind of get out of that. Like, I find everybody's just like, this is mine and that's mine and this money's mine and I've got this much silver and this much gold and, you know, how much can I accumulate for myself?
Yeah.
Right. And I think, yeah, the value of silver and gold, like, yeah, we've been collecting for years and the value of it, like we can watch the markets every day and it's all a bunch of BS. But, you know, it's, you know, my sister, because we've got some collector coins that were given to us as children and, oh, how much is this worth? And how much is that? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't see how that even matters.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that in a situation where you actually have to use the gold coin or the silver for like money, it would be you wouldn't get as good a deal necessarily. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I have a question though.
There would be a premium.
Say the currency goes out.
Yeah.
Okay. Where are we going? Am I going to go to the bullion place to trade this stuff in? And who's going to be actually determining the value of that at that point? Like, I don't even know if these places will be around at that stage.
So no, what happens is there was in Macedonia, I think it was Macedonia and Greece, northern Greece, there was a situation not too long ago when Greece was insolvent and Germany was bailing them out, but and so Greece went to the euro and they basically couldn't function on the euro. Now they can, I guess, but they were having a hard time with functioning on the euro from the switch from the previous, like their own self-directed currency. And so bartering came in, and it was in for a while, like a long time, more than a year. And there was a video I saw talking about how people were getting used to, stores had scales and people had pieces of silver that were different weights, and they'd go shopping with their weighted silver and gold, like their little, it wasn't a wallet, but it was like a hard container that they were showing, and it looked like tablets. Almost, it wasn't coins, it was like tablets. And it was like, a haircut would cost this much weight, and it had they had signs up that it was a totally different currency from the euro.
But then who was making that decision at that point of the value?
The community, I guess. I don't know who was making I think they were basing it on the price of silver as at whatever it was, $35, and then basing the weights on that, I think. But
it'd be the market though, wouldn't it?
Well, the market, the
global market.
Just that'd be the market of the area.
These are common currencies and trades. Like gold and silver has traditionally been the backbone of the understanding of what fiat rests on. And simply because Nixon pulled the rug out of that and now we're in a decline, doesn't mean that it's still not there. And you go to China or India and it's a simple trade. Basically, but when we get into trouble, which is about to occur, like your gold chain necklace, KJ, basically forget it, because you'll be pulling it apart in bits and pieces. Like selling it whole will, like, you're right. When we get into trouble, it'll be community is your backbone, and what you can trade and what you can contribute to community basically gets marked down in a book, and then equalization happens at a council meeting, basically, sort of like Tartary. The old
Well, they used to do IOUs, right? Too.
Yeah.
Like notes and
that kind of thing will fall into effect. And your ability to trade with others, like if you've got lighters or candles, pickles, whatever, it's going to be like, you can't eat gold and you can't eat silver.
It'd be like a dozen eggs would be traded for something of equal. We would determine what is equal.
And a council
commodity
will
value.
form in a community, and things will be worked out at a community level. Like Tartary was an ancient nation that the Rothschilds pulled down in a matter of years, but
Mud flood.
What was that?
Mud flood.
Yeah, like very quickly. But that's the alternate system of existence, where guilds form, and your contribution matters to community. The main thing is that great art and great innovation comes out of a system where your value is determined by your contribution, as opposed to the Rothschild system of banking, where things go, by market determined, or now it's fraudulent value.
Yeah, well, yeah, they pick the winners, right? Crazy.
They pick the winners and they play the game, and it's not a free market. So it'll all flip back into what Tartary ran on a long time ago, which is community books.
Hopefully. Or
And-
maybe.
and-
We'll see. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, it's totally natural.
Yeah. Thanks, KJ. And I just realized it's after 2:00 and I've got to go. So we'll do Scott and we'll do MC, and then we'll end the show today. So Scott. Thanks, KJ.
I have two things to address. I'm an Albertan. I live here in central Alberta, and what I'm seeing is it's like a runaway landslide going for people are going to separate. And
It looks like that.
I'm hearing from the rest of the country that all the provinces that have been the have-not provinces that have been robbing Alberta blind since we came into the Federation. Well, Alberta and Saskatchewan are the breadwinners of the whole country. And now that we're leaving, they're all turning on us and calling us traitors. But in the meantime, all they did was shit on us and suppress our oil and gas industry and our agricultural industry. And so that we're the guys trying to make the money for the country, but they're making it harder and harder for us to do that. And we're done with it. And if people can't see that, they're just plain stupid.
Yeah, I don't know if that there's much spin, like from what I've seen of the numbers and things like that. I don't know that there's much spin that's going to convince people that it's not a popular thing, because what they're going to try and do is convince people that it's like at best 1 in 4. It's certainly not. It's not 2 in 4, and I think it's probably 3 in 4. So
I think it is closer to 75% want out. Yeah,
I think so.
The ones who don't want out are the newcomers and the immigrants.
Yeah, because they're.
Scott, do you think the vote actually matters, though?
Sorry, Max?
Do you think the vote actually matters? I'm not trying to shit on separation. I'm just genuinely asking.
This vote matters in terms of if this vote passes, then we will get the vote at the next provincial election for the what do they call it? It starts with an R.
Referendum. The referendum.
Referendum. We'll get our referendum. So yeah, this vote isn't the be all end all.
Fair enough. I was just asking, like, do you think the vote in the end really matters? That's I'm like I said, I'm not trying to cast shade, but I'm just curious.
Well, the referendum really matters.
Because we have seen.
Do you think
that the vote machines? Bring in the Dominion machines.
Yeah, but do you think that they'll let it? Do you think that they'll
allow the machines here in Alberta anymore?
Do you think that they'll? Do you think the powers that be will let they're already trying to interfere? I think in the voting or in the process, they're poking their nose in. I think, in my opinion.
Absolutely, and they will. They'll do everything they can.
I think so too. I hope that Alberta is able to, again, chart a path through it, because I think that the powers that be even powers in Alberta who may look friendly are Kenny's being an a-hole. He really is being an a-hole.
He's a member of the World Economic Forum, and
Yes,
so
he
was
is.
Daniel Smith.
We got to
And
make
also
it too big to rig.
2016.
Everybody's just got to participate.
Too big to rig.
You got to go vote.
So I know you got to go, Mark, but I
Sorry.
just want to pipe in here with all this.
Can I
So-
finish my points?
Yes.
I also wanted to talk about silver. I think silver, which has now become a diminishing mineral, probably more rare than anything, is going to surpass gold eventually.
Oh, you think so?
And so
Yeah,
people need to be aware of that.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. That's some good insight. I was saying that I thought it was still cheap at $100, and you're saying it'll
No.
be cheap at $1,000 or
Well,
more.
it's going to go up to the same price as gold and maybe beyond.
Yeah, because they don't use gold in the manufacturing of like all of the computers that we have and all of the phones that we have, but they use silver in every single one, right?
Silver is the most conductive metal. That's why it's
Yep.
so important.
Yeah, there's nothing that replaces it. Nothing. Like it is. It's on the periodic table, and it is.
Right.
Yeah, nothing. So yeah, crazy world, and good insight. Okay, KJ, you wanted to talk. MC had his hand up, but go ahead and KJ, make your point quick, please.
MC, go.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Let him.
Okay, MC. Thanks, KJ.
Okay. Well, community versus property. Communities are awesome. A community is a great thing to be part of and stuff like that. Property rights and respect for one another are fundamental. And I have to emphasize property rights because right now they're under attack a lot. And because the globalists have hijacked the concept of community, right? And Canada is not a community. Canada is thousands and thousands of communities.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. And so a small local community is the right way to do things, but I would be surprised if any small local community didn't start with respect for each other, including property rights. And right now I have to say, I demand my property rights because the government increasingly is coming to take my property.
Mm-hmm.
So mine, yes, mine. And right. And I share with people around me and offer my time and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, what's mine is mine, and you respect that or get away from me.
But you're still paying property taxes.
Yeah, those are a direct violation of property rights.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the thing with me is it's not really your property.
Well,
You know?
of course. No, they
Yeah.
got to get rid of property taxes.
Yep.
At some point, I'm just going to stop paying them.
Yeah.
Hence the disguise. Thanks.
I have not paid income tax in 11 years.
Cool.
I just haven't filed.
Yep.
And I haven't heard anything from anybody.
Interesting.
They
Just-
keep on
They
top of
probably owe you money.
They do. I know they do, but I'm not doing it. I'm just not.
They
Yeah.
sent my accountant a note about like this guy missed a GST installment payment because I have a small business, right?
Mhm.
And also I got my email from the firearms confiscation people,
Yep.
and it was saying, "Hey, let us know what you have."
Ha.
So
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
being at a
No.
like at a meeting of a secret organization, and the new guy pipes up and says, "We should make a list of everyone who's in the organization and where they live."
Yeah, like get the new guy out of here. Like get out, new guy. No, we are. I feel like we're kind of being messed with, and like everybody's so busy that we can't like stop these people messing with us. And so we just suffer. And I hope that we can find a way through it. I hope that we can find a way out of being confounded the way we are, because like the bad policies are having a negative impact, but we have no real pathway to stopping the bad policies. And we need guns. Yes, we don't. And with COVID, one of the realizations that I made recently was that we didn't vote our way out of COVID. There was no political solution to COVID. We just said no. And that worked, but we didn't hold anybody accountable. And so I would be okay with just saying, like, I'm not going to comply with their free speech nonsense. I'm not going to comply with this stuff. I think it's stupid. I'm not going to comply with their 40 kilometers an hour on the roadways everywhere because I think it's stupid. And am I going to drive irresponsibly? No, I'm going to drive to the conditions and the road. And if there's school buses and children everywhere, I'm probably going to drive slower than if there aren't school buses and children everywhere. But putting up 40-kilometer-an-hour signs or passing bad laws does not make a good society, right? 30 kilometers an hour in Collingwood. Yeah, they're trying to bring it down to 30 kilometers an hour. But these 40 kilometers an hour on main roadways, it's crazy. Highways, trucks are going on Highway 7 and Highway 6 and 40 kilometers an hour. It's just unbelievable. And so
or trucks are going fast and killing whole families too.
Or yeah, right. So if you're in town, the trucks are going very slow and blocking traffic, and if you're not in town, you're getting killed by them. So yeah, it's a double-edged. It's double-edged, and both sides are bad for us. So I don't know.
Well, as I always say, it still hasn't gotten bad enough to force most people to act.
I think people don't know what to do. I think if people acted, then things would go badly. I think people are waiting to see kind of what happens, and they'll join whatever side they think is going to win. And that
might be increasing. I still think most people are willfully blind.
Yes. Oh yeah. No, most people. Yes. Most people don't even see it. And the people who do see it are paralyzed because there's nothing we can actually do to stop. It's like standing in front of a freight train. You see the damage. You see it's going to cause all kinds of shit. And if you stand in front of it, you're just going to get run over. And so
we're outnumbered.
Yeah, hugely outnumbered.
Two, people think that they're smarter than they actually are, right? Someone will come up to you at some point and say, "I got the best of them. I switched from steak to hamburger." Yeah. Well, wait a minute. That's a substantial downgrade, you moron. Yeah. Like, what? Well, why are you bragging about that?
Yep.
Yeah, go
brainwash.
You should be demanding, why is steak so expensive? And instead you're, the joke's on you guys that don't want me to eat any more steak.
Yeah. I got hamburger. Well, right. And so, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, with that, I've got to go. It's already almost 1:15. So thanks for joining us today, everybody watching. And I'll turn off the stream right now.